Bendiciones, everybody. Um, Today we're going to get into, one of my favorite loas to work with, and that is La Siren. You know, so in this video, I'm going to try, my best to bring you an understanding of her energy, a little understanding of her background, you know, an overall understanding of La Siren. So when we get into La Siren, just to understand a little bit of the origin, right? You will find yourself in ancient oil, and of course you have Yemoja, right? So this energy of Yemoja was moving through West Africa in different ways. When she crossed the Atlantic and ended up in the Caribbean, Yemoja splits into many different aspects. One of those being La Sirene. You see? Her name also goes through variants of itself. So she goes from Yemoja to Yemaya, right? Mamiwata, these different names. And as La Sirene, to understand, although the source of energy is similar, La Sirene is not Yemoja in a pure form. That's not what that is. La Sirene went through changes along the way. You got to remember, different priests were coming together in the Caribbean, and they were bringing their expertise, and so they were able to find different aspects of spirit, venerate them differently. A lot of things took place in the Caribbean. So La Sirene is La Sirene, Yemoja is Yemoja, but they share common origin. Okay, so just like you and your brother or your sister share a common origin, but you are you and your brother is your brother and your sister is your sister, that is the same. Or you and your cousins share the same grandmother, so you share a common origin, but you are you and your cousin is your cousin. That applies to African spirituality as well. Okay, so just understand that. Now, these spirits do share a lot of similarities. La Sirene is one who can bring peace to your house. La Sirene is one who can bring lovers as well. But the way that she brings lovers, oftentimes La Sirene can bring the lover you need, you know? She can bring the lover you need, the one that really is compatible with you, you know? So oftentimes, those are the type of lovers that La Sirene can bring. More of a lasting type of situation. La Sirene is married to the Admirable Metagwe, who is the divine sailor. Agwe deserves his own video, you know. So yeah, La Sirene is married to Agwe. And La Sirene, she's often worked through three main aspects. So these aspects are represented differently by different saints. And the core energy of La Sirene is there, but the aspects slightly change the stream of energy that's coming through. Okay, so for instance, you have the La Sirene that's represented as a Native American or a Taino, which is basically Diosa del Mar, the Estrella del Mar, or the Star of the Sea. All right, and that's the La Sirene that you see coming out of the water. You may see her in a statue in blue, and she's like copper skinned. She got a star on her head. That is the working the more Native American aspect of La Sirene. And that comes through, that's actually the La Siren I work with. So when I'm doing work with clients, that is the La Siren that I'm working with clients. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, that's the one that I serve. And then you have the La Siren that's represented as a black woman as Our Lady of Regla. You know, so then you have that La Siren, and she is a deep brown skinned woman, and you know, so there's that statue. And then there's the La Siren that's represented in a white image as Our Lady of Charity. Now, Our Lady of Charity, you know, when you get into Orisha tradition in the Caribbean, you know, you start getting into Ocha. Oshun is often also venerated through Our Lady of Charity, but in Vudu, oftentimes you will see La Siren venerated through Our Lady of Charity. Remember, a lot of these spirits are related, but they're not exactly the same. And so the aspects change, what they need change, different things like that change to get them to move for you. You know, I know for some people that's new, it might sound confusing, but all you got to think about is if you had a twin brother or sister, you're going to need your own thing, and your twin brother or sister are going to need their own thing, even though you came from the same mom and the same grandma, right? And the same father, right? It doesn't matter. So think about the spirits like that. So, you know, basically, those are good things to understand with La Siren. La Siren is often worked through those three main aspects. So you can see her represented as Diosa de Mar. You can see her represented as Our Lady of Regla. You can see her represented as Our Lady of Charity. So that's how you often see La Siren. Yemoja is also often venerated through Diosa de Mar or Our Lady of Regla. So you can also see that. Depending on which aspect of Yemoya that you're calling, which, you know, that's a deeper conversation. See, all of these spirits have aspects of their self, and these aspects are going to do different things, slightly different, this, that. So that's something good to understand. Now, to get deeper into her energy, La Siren, why is La Siren so powerful? Because another thing that La Siren brings is prosperity. How does La Siren create the prosperity? See, well, when you're talking about La Siren is also a loa that helps you introspect, look into yourself, right? And so before we get into how she brings the prosperity, let's talk about how she affects love. Let's talk about how she affects your inner being in order to facilitate peace or in order to facilitate understanding. Because this is a very deep loa. This loa is so deep, I cannot even get through her in one video, honestly, because there's so many different facets. Just think of the ocean. This is the mother of the sea. So just think of the ocean. The ocean have so many secrets, so many different facets to it, that can you really explain the ocean in one Discovery Channel clip? No, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't. The ocean is too vast, as is La Siren. And so, understanding La Siren loves mirrors. Why does La Siren love mirrors? Because she was the first mirror. You see, when you look at the reflection of the water, that is the first time where people really could see themselves, right? Is the reflection of the water. You know, La Siren rules mirrors. La Siren rules illusions. You know, even though you're seeing your reflection in the water, it's not really that. It's actually still different, but it gives you a idea of what it looks like, right? But then there's waves going, and then there's the symmetry that may be slightly off, right? There's different things like that. La Siren rules illusions. She's a misterio, and this misterio that we call La Siren is the siren, right? The siren that can lure you into the water. This is also La Siren. And so La Siren can bring all of the pleasures of the world to lure you into the water, or she can help bring you the pleasures of the world. This is the energy of La Siren. It's very powerful, and it's very seductive because she rules illusions. That's how she sucks you in. You know, when you're speaking about love, the mystery, the illusion, what is that? I need to see La Siren. And then she has you. That's also how La Siren can bring lovers, you know. She brings them to the illusion, and then she traps them, and they're yours. Very powerful Loa. Slept on in that, to me, you know, she's often slept on when we're talking about love, work, and things like that. But La Siren is wonderful. I love La Siren. I love La Siren. La Siren has done so much for me in my life. I could just tell stories after stories about La Siren. Seriously. So La Siren was the first mirror. La Siren rules illusions. She also rules the unseen, you know. And with that being said, there's a dangerous element that can come with La Siren too, because there's predators in the sea. There's sharks, you know what I'm saying? There's all kind of things. There's venomous snakes in the ocean. There's a lot of things in the ocean that can hurt you. So La Siren is also a loa that you have to be careful when you deal with her. You got to really deal with her a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a loa that is everything in the sea. Stingrays in the sea, everything in the sea. Killer whales, whatever. Box of jellyfish can kill you in 3 minutes. La Siren. And she controls that. That is her dominion. That is her world. So you have to deal with La Siren with the same amount of respect as you deal with the sea, with the ocean. You will not disrespect the ocean. You do not disrespect La Siren. Trust me. There's a lot of stories I can tell about La Siren. You know, she can drown you in a lot of things. Believe that. And so that brings me to the next thing. La Siren is one who rules cycles. La Siren rules cycles. So if you study the ocean, the water is coming on the shore, the water is coming off the shore. The water is coming on the shore, the water is coming off the shore. It's constantly flowing. The tide is constantly coming and going. That is La Siren. That creates two things. One, you know, the ocean is constantly having a current running through it, or the waves are moving. The ocean is not still. And La Siren is just like the ocean. She is a tireless worker. La Siren can do work, 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 work. You know, she can do work, 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 and just keep going. That's how La Siren is, just like the ocean. So for those practitioners that work with La Siren, for clients, you know what I'm talking about. La Siren, she can go the distance with you. It's very different than, like, you know, working with Esli Freda, where you got to kind of coax her into working and do a little more, which that's a whole nother video. La Siren is one who really can get it and hit it and go and go and go, just like the ocean. That's why it's one of my favorite loa. And just like this ocean coming on and off the shore, she rules emotions. And so just like that wave is coming in and off the shore, those emotions are coming in and out of your heart. And this movement of the currents ripping through the ocean and the tides coming and going, it keeps the ocean renewed. It keeps the ocean fresh. It keeps it from becoming stagnated. You see? And that is the power that comes with La Sirene. She is able to create movement so that the waters don't become stagnant. Because if the waters become stagnant, if ocean water becomes stagnant, it becomes a stinky marsh, right? If fresh water becomes stagnant, it becomes a swamp, right? And that swamp is not so pleasant. Even the animals that live in that swamp, you know, in beauty, compare them to the animals that live in the ocean. In the ocean, you got beautiful coral reefs and this beautiful vegetation. Even a kelp forest is majestic, right? And what you got in a swamp, you know, see moss growing and things like that. What you got in a swamp. Even the animals in the ocean that can kill you have a beauty. A shark is majestic. A shark is beautiful. Compare that to an alligator. Compare that to animals like, compare the turtles. Look at a sea turtle, then look at an alligator snapping turtle. You have to find the beauty in the alligator snapper. The sea turtle is just beautiful. See, somebody like me, I think the alligator snapper is beautiful, but that's because I have to find the beauty. It's an acquired beauty. It's not the same. You know what I mean? And this is La Sirene. Look at the animals. Look at an eel. Even an eel in the ocean have a beauty to it. A moray eel in the ocean can even have a beauty to it. Different eels that you find in the ocean compared to in a swamp or a river that doesn't move fast. Compare those animals, very different. Intoxicating. La Sirene. Ay, bobo. So these cycles, La Sirene also rules a major cycle. Think about this. The water that evaporates out of the ocean goes into a cloud. And that cloud comes over land and it falls onto the land. And so here we have La Sirene being so fertile, because she rules fertility as well. Here we have La Sirene being so fertile, so prosperous, that she even feeds the earth. It is La Sirene's waters that give you the crops that you feed off of. If you're a person that eats meat, the animals that you eat are eating the crops that are fed by who? La Sirene. The rivers are being fed by who? La Sirene. The lake is being fed by who? La Sirene. And this is why La Sirene is the mother. You see? Intoxicated. La Sirene. This is a very powerful loa. La Sirene is not a loa for beginners, because she is a loa that can flip like a fish. La Sirene can flip on you like a fish, like your emotions can just change. And so when you deal with La Sirene, you have to have a steady hand. You have to really know how to maneuver this energy of this loa. This is not a beginner's loa. Don't get fooled by the siren, by the mermaid. This is not that. This is a loa that's more advanced, because of that ability of her, to flip. And then people, oh, La Sirene. You need a steady hand when you work with her. You have to know how to really soothe those waters, how to keep those waters in a direction that you want. This is La Siren. Very powerful Loa. Works very well when you send her to others. When I send her to clients, she goes and she does her job. This is a Loa that absolutely loves to make herself known, and she often makes herself known through dreams. Remember the illusions, the mystery realms. This is La Sirene. Intoxicating information. The mystery realms. This is La Sirene. This is the power. La Sirene loves to come in dreams. She loves to give messages in dreams. La Sirene energy. It's a mixture. You can look at it almost as a mixture of what you see even with water signs and stuff. It's a lot of Piscean energy with La Sirene, a lot of Cancerian type of energy with La Sirene. And some aspects of her can be very scorpionic in nature. La Sirene. La Sirene has been very good to me. She's brought a lot. And I've learned over the years how to really manage her, and move her in a way that was very productive, both for myself and for those who come to get relief from me. She's very good. La Sirene is very good with helping people heal from trauma. She's very good for helping people work out those traumas. She's very good with helping people work through karmic situations. Very good. Very good. This is a powerful Loa. And she's slept on. So that's why I had to come bring light. I had to. Because she's a very important figure. Think about this, how gracious she is. Even if La Sirene were to come, right? Let's say that water evaporates into the cloud and comes over the land and it falls as a thunderstorm. It still feeds the land. And when that thunderstorm goes, guess what's going to happen? The plants are going to grow. They're going to feed you, and they're going to feed the animals that live on that land. That is La Sirene. Gracious mother. Gracious, gracious mother. So many mysteries to this Loa. So many mysteries, family. Ooh. And, when she comes to you in dreams, it's so vivid. Like, it's so vivid, you can't even believe it. Because she can come in the dream as a sea animal. You know what I'm saying? It's not always a mermaid. Not a lot of times it's symbolisms that deal with the ocean, and she'll come right to you. She'll come right to you. She'll help you. She'll guide you. She'll give you insight. La Sirene is one who a lot of people can have experience with her that never worked with her, because she is that loving of her children, and she will come to you and she will show you things, just off GP. So a lot of people that's watching this probably even had experiences where La Sirene has guided them in some way or another. A lot of these Loa can do that. It's just the difference when it's just out of them doing it, and when you are making a concerted effort for that action to occur. That's when now you're wielding the sword with skill, or a practitioner sending that loa to do a specific job, right? But La Siren is one who, yes, she often comes as, sea animals, things like that. She can come as just a mermaid. She can. La Siren come in many ways. This energy of La Siren is also connected to the moon. And just think about it. The moon is what's pulling the tide. And the moon pulls your emotions too. We go through this every full moon. We go through this every new moon, right? The lunar cycles affect us. If the moon is strong enough to pull the ocean, it's surely strong enough to pull your body that's made out of 70+% water, right? So it definitely affects your emotions. It definitely affects how you, interact. La Siren, once again. Intoxicating. Many music artists sing of La Siren. You have the Isley Brothers, Voyage to Atlantis. Misty lady, set my spirit free. Who are you talking about? See, y'all gotta go look, y'all gotta go back and listen. Y'all gotta go back, listen to this music. Set sail with me. Misty lady, set my spirit free. Y'all gotta go Isley Brothers, Voyage to Atlantis. Who are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And what does he say in that song? I'll always come back to you. You'll always come back to La Siren. Always. The siren. The siren. Intoxicating. Dangerous. But you can't look away. You can't stop coming. La Siren. Love La Siren. So much with this loa. So much with this loa. Like, it go on and on. You know what I'm saying? It can go on and on with La Siren, because she is that powerful. She is that powerful. What other artists sing about La Siren? Because there's another one that sing about La Siren. I know who did it. I don't want to mess up her name, because when I bring the name, let me just pull her up real quick, because I know the song. I know the song. Let me get her up. I ain't gonna play the song because, oh, Regina Belle. Regina Belle. Regina Belle in that song, Silver Moon, shining on my skin. Go listen to this music. She sings in a song, she's singing to the moon, right? La Siren. And what does she say in the song? I know a secret, how to make you want me. She's telling you. She's telling you. She says, 'cause the moon above is a friend of mine, and she'll make you burn. Oh, something tells me. Regina Belle, she's singing about putting roots basically on some man dealing with the moon, dealing with La Siren. Yes. Go back and listen to these oldies but goodies, man, and you will start to understand that energy of La Siren. See, this is another secret. I'm giving y'all too much. Listen, a lot of these old Black American songs, you can hear the loas come through. It's not just traditional country music where they just beating drum and singing to the loa. A lot of these people that came through in the 70s and stuff like that, they understood the science. They was working with these loa themselves. And oftentimes they encaptured the energy of these loa in their music. And so when you listen to it, you can feel that energy. Go listen to Regina Bell, Baby Come to Me. Go listen to the Isley Brother, Voyage to Atlantis. Both of them, one of my favorite records. I love listening to those. Both of them, one of my favorite records. You know, I'm connected to Mami Wata very deep. Remember, all of these spirits have relations. I am a child of Oshun. Eshu rules my head, but Oshun rules my feet. That is my mother. I'm connected to Mami Wata energy. So a lot of these songs, oh, I love these records. Oh, I love them. But go back and listen to these songs and just replay them and think about the energy of La Siren. You will have a different understanding than what I can even explain to you on a video out of my mouth. The seductive siren who can lure a man into the ocean with her beauty, with her song, the singing of the siren. She can lure you. Yes. And so that concludes this with La Siren. Make sure that y'all subscribe. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you share the video. And join the mentorship where I go into deeper about, these type of topics and things like that. Help guide your journey. And stay tuned. I'll get with y'all. Aight, bobo.